The Community, July 24th. My best friend Jin is a pretty amazing guy. I've only known him for a few years, but we spent some time together and I can see how complex he is. He's got a wife, 2 kids, a business of his own, and the most multi-dimensional personality of anyone that I know. He can be kind, intelligent, stupid, bizarre, crazy, omniscient, childish. Hell, anything. There are times that I look down on him, and there are other times when he seems to glow in front of me and others. There are times as well when I give up on him and see him as irretrievable, completely out of reach, and that I've eclipsed him as a person. Then I realize how far ahead of me he is. He's a preacher, a teacher. He has given it all up to live on mountains and smoke cigarettes and herbs. He has given up drinking because he saw it made him a worse person. He never tries to contact me. I always have to chase him. But I am always glad when I do. He is happy to see me and considers me his brother, which is a true honor since he lost his brother some time ago. The man without a family has now made a new family. I can see them blossom and wither under his gaze. This is the kind of obscure power that he holds in this case. What can I say about how he hurts people when he also makes them feel alive? I don't know if I pity him or his victims. He told me once that his name isn't really Jin, and he'll disappear for days at a time. Nobody knows what is happening to this person, but we all know that he is alive in every sense of the word, much more alive than you or I or anyone else I know. I run and run, look and look. But what is it all for? I see the cars, the motorcycles, the bicycles parked in front of his house. His son is staring at me with accusing eyes. Is his daddy a good man? This is all there is, and nothing else is really very important. Jin really amazes me. He's lived all over the United States, and now he's here learning the local language, helping his friend with his job. He is slowly telling me all about his life, and I can tell how much he has experienced. Often giddy, being near to him is a source of inspiration. He drinks too much and has other vices. I can see that in his heart he is faithful to the woman that means the most to him in his life, but that is not what he practices. He knows so much, but so much of it comes out through frazzled thoughts. I can't always follow. It's at another level. I want to spend more time with him, and he has shown us many kindnesses. Sometimes he calls me, and we go somewhere together. Time spent out of the house is cherished usually, and here we are, there we are. He knows my brother and has spent time with him as well. I've met his parents, and want to meet his brother and sister. They sound so interesting to me, but in such different ways. She's intellectual, he's guttural. They have different approaches to life. Both seem like good ways to live after a fashion, He has been closer to death and heaven than anybody I know. Or perhaps that is ecstasy in hell? His thinking is deep. It is facile. He represents a million contradictions at once. But most of what I see of him is positive. He makes me happy. He makes me smile. Except for those few moments when he frightens me and I know how dangerous he might be. Sometimes he drifts close to the edge, and sometimes he's very far from it. This means nothing to him, though. He's just a happy guy who has the most open mind of anybody I know. He lives and laughs, and that is good enough for me too. But Jin can at times be just a little dry, no pun intended. When I first met him in high school, I hated him. I thought he was too opinionated and fanciful. I tried to tell him that his opinions would probably change as he matured. So what was the point of making a big deal about his ideologies now? But he wouldn't accept that next to his arguments, and I was rejected. Yet, somehow, we warmed up to each other slowly and became the best of friends in spite of everything. I began to respect his intellect and opinions, and knew that he had something worth saying. His girlfriend was with him in my estimations of friendship until she fell in love with me, and that shouldn't have happened because she was a good person.
Only one person ever saw us together, and that was a source of stupidity. Why did that have to happen?
I stopped talking to him for many years and actually lost contact with him completely. But now that I hear from him again, we always have many things to say to each other. Life is funny. He tells me his story as if he were writing chapters in a novel. He is a journalist. Perhaps this is why. He's so funny and strange. We talk about movies, an area in which we are mostly in agreement, and about music, where we disagree entirely. I am bored of him, though, and dislike talking about him. Jin has sent me 1 or 2 emails in recent years, and none of them personal. It has been over 10 years since I have seen him, and at that time, we weren't even good friends. But somehow, I think of him a lot. I find it rather strange that I would do that, perhaps. Who was he? What did he mean to me? I think of those droopy eyes, that reluctant smile, the ease in which people tease him, the cracking of his knuckles and joints, things like that. What was his health problem? Mental? A sort of catharsis? Jin died over 40 years ago, the victim of an assassin's bullet. He left a legacy of hundreds of songs and poems. We think of them often and how he changed our lives. Jin was assassinated over 50 years ago, leaving a wife and child. The son is grown up now, the wife dead of old age. Jin was assassinated over 60 years ago. He might have made the world a freer place for people like us.
Life is strange, living in the mirror.